and welcome to Return of the Gooch. This is Goochberg II, and I'm Goochburger.
It's a good day to gooch hard.
Yes. Live free or Goochberg.
That's the one. Hey guys, what's up? What's happening? I am still the King of Games 98.
And I'm still lucky enough to see Goochberg naked.
Oh! Come on, son. No. Continuing with the Psych-o-ween Halloween-themed Psych episode reviews, we come to Season 3, believe it or not, the very first episode of Season 3, which is promptly titled Ghosts.
Patrick Swayze.
House. Roadhouse. Such a great movie. Okay, so what can you tell us about Ghosts? The episode Ghosts.
It was directed by Stefan Surjik. I don't know if you said that right.
No, it's okay.
And Ghosts is the first episode of Season 3 after Gus's boss demands he cease moonlighting as the psych agency. Shawn must find a way to keep his partner while simultaneously solving a haunting case and dealing with the return of his mother.
Nicely done. Very good brief summary. I think that was spot on, to the point. And now we're going to elaborate a little bit more on that. Thoughts and feelings, talk about our thoughts and feelings about this episode, and that's going to be the review.
Oh yeah.
So, upon me and you rewatching this episode, I stopped at one point and asked you, does this really feel like a Halloween themed episode to you?
No, it just feels like another Scooby-Doo video, Scooby-Doo show.
And that was his exact answer. I totally agree with you, because, like, this had just about everything an episode of Scooby-Doo does.
Yeah.
Ghosts, unexplained flickering of lights, weird disturbing calls that no one, seems to answer, fog.
Yeah.
A creepy old house.
And Goochberg.
And a cleaning lady.
Oh yeah, true.
So this was kind of like what we saw in the previous review video for Psych-o-ween, Shawn and Gus of the Dead. Now, I mean that in a really good way, not to be, confused with interpreting that as a bad thing. It was a good thing, if anything. Although I find it really funny that this is the second episode now we've said is more like a Scooby-Doo episode than a Halloween-themed episode. And then Season 5's In Plain Fright. Literally, they make a Scooby-Doo reference in that episode.
That whole episode is a Scooby-Doo reference, but it doesn't feel like alright, it feels both like a horror, like Halloween, and a Scooby-Doo episode. These past two just felt like Scooby-Doo.
Okay. I will totally agree with you there. Because, yeah, these two really haven't felt like horror-y type, but definitely 100% Scooby-Doo episodes. Yeah. Yeah, these are very, I would probably say Scooby-Doo Where Are You?
Yeah.
Like classic, original Scooby-Doo. I do like this episode, though. I don't hate it. And I didn't think you did either.
No.
And you see this with just about every Psych episode, but I'm going to say this about this particular Psych episode. I like how it has two plot lines. The one, of course, is the main Gus's...
What is that, like, is the Boston in you coming out?
Yes.
Goss?
Yeah, you park the car in the garage. No.
You give me some water.
Gus's boss and then his boss both are onto him about having a second job, and they don't like that, and they want him to quit Psych. That's the main primary
timeline
plot of this episode. Thank you. I really froze there. And then the second plot of this episode has to deal with Shawn's mom, which up until this point in the show, we have heard nothing about her. We know nothing about her. Nothing has ever been said about her. It really, between this episode and then...
I mean, she was in if you want to count that one episode, when they were, I think it was the last one we watched.
Shawn and Gus the Dead. That's just what I was about
Yeah,
to say.
she was in that,
she was in the beginning of that episode in the flashback scene, and then she showed up right at Henry's door at the very end of that episode.
Yeah.
And I loved how they did that. So basically, if you're not a fan of Psych, first off,
What's wrong with you?
Come on, son. Second, how episode 2 ends, episode 3 picks right up and goes...
Season 2 ends.
I said episode, didn't I?
Yeah.
Where season 2 ends,
Season 3
picks right up and goes right into it. I really like how they did that. It kind of reminded me of, with Star Wars, how Rogue One ends. And literally goes right into the beginning of episode 4, A New Hope. That was just moi. Yeah. So I really like the transition to that. But yeah, those are the main 2 plots of this episode. Shawn helping Gus not getting fired from Central Coast Pharmaceutical?
I have no clue.
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And then Shawn's mom coming back into his life. I think between the 2 plots of this episode, I really liked the plot of Shawn's mom coming back better than the other one, because like up until this point in time, we haven't seen her. We don't know anything about this character, and she's just fully introduced.
Yeah.
I really like her. She just seems like such a loving, caring mom, and I know it's made for a TV show, of course, but she just really seems to sell it for me.
Yeah.
And I could, between her and Corbin Burnson as Henry, I couldn't see anyone else being his parents.
Right.
At all. So, yeah, I would have to say I like the second plot of involving Shawn's mom more than
the main plot.
Yeah. Oh. I don't think that's a bad thing, though. And I don't really think it takes away from the main plot of this episode. But, of course, that is the main plot.
Yeah.
Of Shawn helping Gus not getting fired from Central Coast Pharmaceutical. But, yeah, I do really like this episode. Had a lot of great one-liners. Of course, 80s references. I think a movie reference here or there. And I really liked how they fleshed out the work that Shawn and Gus do for the community is very important, and that they actually showed it in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Well, in their local newspaper. I thought that was really cool. Alright, if you had to pick a favorite character from this specific episode, who would you say is your favorite?
I think it would have to be the mom.
Good choice.
Because she explains...
Really good choice.
About, it's just the mom.
That's very good choice. I would have to say the same. My answer would have to be the same, only because this is really the first episode she's fully introduced. So yeah, I would have to say Shawn's mom. Favorite scene from this episode?
I would have to say the ending when he. Well, okay, so after you find out that the haunting was faked and set up by Shawn,
yeah,
and then the boss doesn't buy it, and then he goes, "All right, you're a dirty, dirty cheater, and what you're doing is illegal." And he goes, "Cheating's not illegal," and he goes, "Yeah, but buying shit and distributing the way you're doing it is illegal." So yeah. And he goes, "All right, Gus can continue working for Psych," and it's like, "Yeah, bitch, that's right, it's your fault."
Okay, that is a very good scene. I think that was a great answer.
But it also ties up with his mom explaining what really happened in the divorce. Only because I went through that, and so I know what that's like.
That is true, you did.
So it's like, yeah, your dad didn't leave, I did.
That is really true. I would have to say my favorite scene of this episode would also have to be the scene where Shawn's mom brings him aside and they sit down in that police office and they talk about the past, and she explains to him what really happened, and that is that she left Henry due to getting a better job out of town.
Yeah.
That was just such an emotional and very powerful scene, and up until this point in the show of Psych, you know, this is got away from me there. This is season.
Do you want to scratch up my floor, bro?
This is season 3. So from season 1, 2, and 3 now, Shawn's kind of been very resentful, I would say, towards Henry.
Yeah.
And like kind of treated him like crap. And, you know, of course blamed him for the divorce, and it's just been very mean to him for really no reason.
Yeah.
And
then you find out why.
Yeah,
and it's
then,
just like, bro, that's not what happened at all.
Yeah, then she reveals that, and then it's like, wow.
He's like, whoa, shit.
yeah, it's like, now I kind of feel bad. Like, he's just been, you know, mean to his dad this whole time for no reason. So, that is totally my favorite scene of this episode, but I'm going to give a runner-up, just because. And the runner-up to what my favorite scene from this episode would have been is the scene where Shawn puts the dry ice in his mouth to create like the fog coming out of his mouth, and he scares the crap out of Padowitch.
Oh yeah.
And then he spits it out and throws it.
I honestly thought you were gonna say where Lassie comes out of the session with his mom, and he goes, O'Hara morning, and she goes, at what? You can't win at this.
That was a good scene too, but no, that scene with the dry ice, because you see, I've watched these episodes so much that at first I didn't know what that was. Even after he explained it, like it didn't really like click to me. But then, you know, like I said, after watching them so many times, it finally clicked in and I understood. And
how about that Alice Bundy reference from Scary Sherry?
That was pretty good too. I did not pick up on that. I'm actually glad he said that to he paused it, turned and said that to me as we were in the middle of rewatching this episode, and I completely did not even know that they name dropped Alice Bundy in this episode. And of course, Alice Bundy was the main bad guy. I was about to say villain.
Villain, bad guy.
No, villain, bad guy.
In season 1 for
from
Scary Sherry.
season 1, episode 15, I believe.
Scary Sherry, Acknap's Toast.
Yeah, Acknap's Toast. Yes. But no, that was a good. I'm glad you pointed that out, because I didn't remember that at all.
Neither did I. He was like, Alice Bundy. He was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, and like again, we've, you know, both of us have watched these episodes countless of times, but just completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unless you have anything else you want to add, I think that's it.
Goochberg!
Well, I mean, if I can accidentally pick that up and throw it over there, that's going to stay in the video.
Yeah, they're going to have to look at my nipples.
Yeah.
My Goochberg nipples.
Yes. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for Season 3, Episode 1's episode of Psych Ghosts. I just said episode twice. I don't know why.
You have that Goochberg fever. You need more Goochberg in your life.
I do. It's the honest to God truth. Let us know down below in the comment section if you've seen Psych, and if so, have you seen Season 3, Episode 1, episode Ghosts? I just said episode twice again.
What's your take on Goochberg?
Thank you so much for watching, guys, and take care.
Gooch out, baby.